The Auror, a highly trained member of an elite magical unit that specialises solely in the protection of the magical community against any threat. Becoming an Auror requires a lot of hard work, effort and dedication. How did this magical unit originate? Can anyone become an Auror? Find out in today's video on the History of the Auror from Harry Potter Folklore. The Auror unit dates back centuries to the original formation of the Ministry of Magic. During those times, a wizard's main threat was persecution at the hands of muggles. Remaining undiscovered was more important than ever, as despite their magical powers and skill, wizardkind was still greatly outnumbered by the muggle race. While protecting their kind from muggles, an Auror also had to protect wizardkind from wizardkind. It was due to the oppressive feeling amongst the many that wizardkind should not suffer in hiding as they currently were, that wizards and witches began taking the law into their own hands. Just like mankind, not everyone is good, and the same goes for the wizarding race. There are dark wizards who wished to eradicate those who they believed were not worthy of magic. Even before the Voldemorts and Grindelwalds of the world, there were still magical folk who had similar beliefs and wants. An Auror not only acted as a defender of the magical world, but also as an attacker too. They were charged with seeking out these dark wizards and taking action to prevent them from causing serious damage. Then, in addition to that, there was your regular run-of-the-mill criminals who wanted to kill and steal for pleasure. So as you can see, an Auror had quite a tough job. Now, a tough job requires tough training, and that was not straying from the truth when it comes to Auror training. However, to even be accepted into the unit was a challenge itself. Such were the extremely high standards set by the Ministry. In fairness, when it comes to fighting those with the skill level of Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange and many other Death Eaters, you can understand why the Ministry only wanted the best. As a matter of fact, according to Minerva McGonagall, no Auror had been taken on by the Ministry of Magic for over 3 years prior to 1995, though Nymphadora Tonks stated that she qualified the year before, meaning she was probably one of the last candidates taken on. Now, if a wizard or witch managed to gain acceptance, on what criteria were they accepted on? Well, for starters, applicants must have excellent academic credentials before they are accepted into a rigorous training program. It is also possible that the wizarding governing bodies look into criminal records of applicants too, and that those without a clean one would not make it through the cut. In accordance with British standards, an Auror has to have a minimum of 5 newts in challenging subjects. Highly recommended are potions, defense against the dark arts, transfiguration, herbology, and charms, with top grades of either outstanding or exceeds expectations in the student's chosen subjects. It is not known if herbology is required, though it is possible, as Harry Potter continued to take it to newt level as his 5th subject. It is also possible that any other subject could be substituted into the 5, as long as that grade meets the requirements. The requirements for applicants to become Aurors were temporarily relaxed following the end of the Second Wizarding War. With many Aurors destroyed by Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters, the need to re-strengthen the department to combat the remaining Death Eaters was great. The new Minister for Magic and former Auror Kingsley Shacklebolt permitted any age participant in the Battle of Hogwarts to become an Auror immediately if they were interested. He did this on the grounds that, having fought in and survived such a battle and the Second Wizarding War in general, and not changing sides against such overwhelming odds, more than satisfied the character and skill requirements. Some of these recruits included Harry Potter, Neville Longbottom and Ron Weasley, even though neither achieved any newts as they had not attended or completed their final year at Hogwarts. It is also incredibly difficult to fulfill Auror training. If they are accepted into the program, prospective Aurors are required to undergo a stringent series of character and aptitude tests. These tests are done in order to show how they react well under pressure. Applicants are then required to train extensively in advanced magical combat and other elements of practical defense, and most likely methods of criminal investigation. Given that Harry, Ron and Neville became Aurors immediately after the Second Wizarding War, it is likely that they improved their capabilities in advanced defensive magic during their work hands-on. Two of the disciplines included are concealment and disguise, and stealth and tracking, while poisons and antidotes are also essential studies. Minerva McGonagall also mentioned that Aurors often transfigure and untransfigure things in their line of work. In 1995, Nymphadora Tonks stated that she passed training without any difficulties on the concealment and disguise portion, but she nearly failed the stealth tests. Training lasts for 3 years and is considered extremely hard work. Decades prior to Harry Potter's time, many did not think very highly of Aurors. Even Newt Scamander considered Aurors to be careerist hypocrites, and during the rally of Gellert Grindelwald in 1927 in Paris, a vast majority of attendees reacted with disdain and fearful muttering upon realising there were Aurors in the mists, which Grindelwald and those who subscribed to his ideology regarded as something almost akin to a paramilitary special forces of the powers that be, under the direction of the ruling class that hid behind their duty of upholding wizarding law, instead upholding their totalitarian regime and justifying the squashing of any individual or group that they felt threatened by. This latter view might have softened a little, however, following the Global Wizarding War and Albus Dumbledore's defeat of Grindelwald in 1945, given the sheer number of Aurors who had laid down their lives to do the same thing. Though Auror training is very taxing and means an additional 3 years of study even after graduation from Hogwarts or any school, by the time of the First Wizarding War, they seemed to be very well respected in the wizarding community, at least in Britain, where higher ranking members of the Auror office sometimes went on to become potential candidates for the job of the Minister for Magic. For example, Rufus Scrimgeour was a leader of the Auror office, but instead replaced Fudge after the call of his resignation. Another example of a respected Auror that became minister is Kingsley Shacklebolt. Harry Potter was eventually promoted to the head of the Auror department after serving 9 years as an Auror. Due to the high risk of an Auror's line of work, continued success and longevity in the role only increases an Auror's reputation, like that of Rufus Scrimgeour, a fearless, no-nonsense Auror who went on to become head of the office itself and then went on to become Minister of Magic. Or Frank and Alice Longbottom, who were so well respected for their dedication to the department that the attack they suffered caused public outrage. But when it comes to the amount of dark wizards captured, sheer skill and instilled fear factor, none more so suited that description than Alistair Mad Eye Moody. Alistair was nothing short of a master duelist and eventually gave his life in the fight against Lord Voldemort. He was a difficult man to kill and had actually lost several body parts from his efforts in the First Wizarding War, such as part of his leg, part of his nose, and most notably, his eye. My good friend Morgan over at Movie Flame released an incredible video on Moody that you can click the card to see, or you can check it out from the link in the description below. The British Auror department was revolutionised by Harry Potter and Ron Weasley, who both ensured that the department was free of corruption. The Auror position across the Atlantic in the United States is a highly glorified one, with the history of the department's beginning openly available for all to see. Due to the dangerous and unstable conditions in the American wizarding world, the newly formed MACUSA found it very difficult to recruit candidates to become the very first Aurors. In fact, the names of the first dozen volunteers to train as Aurors in the US have a special place in the United States wizarding history. There are so few of them, and the challenges they faced so great, that they knew they might be required to lay down their lives very early when they took the job. Even the descendants of these witches and wizards have been given particular respect in the US ever since. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do, it's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content, so if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at Potter Folklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.